did you go?
You were the one to go.
I remembered them.
Wait, what did you remember?
I remembered them. Oh, they don't know where I am. Let's go. We have
Dory,
to go.
no, this is crazy. Where exactly are you trying to go?
To the gym of the Baltic.
They're out there somewhere, so it's time to go help Dory in finding your files. So in this class, you'll be saving and using a lot of files, and therefore it's important to not end up like Dory and lose them. Now I'm assuming none of you suffer from short-term memory loss, so here are the 2 reasons why I see students lose their files the most. The first reason is that students are just plain unorganized and their files are a mess, like this desktop. Yikes. The second reason is that we tend to accidentally download multiple copies of the same file, save it to the wrong spot, and with the wrong name. So students are unsure which file they should actually be editing and which file they should actually turn in. So we're going to avoid those 2 things at all costs. In this video, you'll explore the File Explorer, learn the different types of files, set up your folders in an organized structure, and practice saving all the different types of files you may incur in this class.
Come aboard, explorers! All knowledge exploring is oh so lyrical when you think thoughts that are empirical.
Dad, you can go now.
Well, hello! Who is this?
I'm Nemo.
Well, Nemo, all new explorers must answer a science question.
Okay.
You live in what kind of home? Okay, don't hurt yourself. Welcome aboard, explorer!
Okay, explorers, time to explore the File Explorer. The File Explorer shows how our computer acts like a giant old school filing cabinet. It's going to give us a visual representation of how our files are organized on our computer. You will be using the File Explorer anytime you want to open, save, or find any of your files to turn them in on Schoology. So it's super important that you get to know it. There are 2 ways for you to open up your File Explorer on your Chromebook. The first is to go down to your launcher and look up Files, and it is this very first one. It looks like the blue circle with a file folder. And that would open up your File Explorer. The second way, if you don't want to do your launcher and type all that in, is to use the shortcut key, and that is Alt-Shift-M, and that will also bring up your File Explorer on your Chromebook. The first thing that I want you to note about your File Explorer on your Chromebook is that there's actually 4 main preloaded areas. The first one is this My Files area, and this is where you can create any folders you want. It's populated automatically with the Downloads folder that Chromebook creates. Below that is Google Drive, and since Google owns Chromebooks, you'll see that it syncs in with that Gmail account that you log into. So this is all my Google Drive. The last one that the File Explorer has on your Chromebook is this very top one. It's called Recent. So any of your recent items that you may have opened, whether they're on your Chromebook or on your Google Drive, will show up there. The main screen that we'll use in our File Explorer is this My Files. So anytime that you need to get back to that main screen, you just simply click on that. There are also 2 view options to view your File Explorer. Right now I'm viewing it with this Details tab, so I see the name and the size and the type and the date. But if you click on these little icons here, this will switch to thumbnail view, and sometimes that's kind of nice if you have pictures. You might see some examples of the thumbnails of the pictures or the thumbnails of the document that way. And again, if you want to switch back to the listing, you just click switch back to list view. Another important thing to note about the File Explorer is that there's this address bar and this blue bar here at the top. Let's say I'm in my Downloads folder. You're going to notice that it's now added an arrow over. These buttons are clickable, so if I wanted to go back to my files, it would bring me back to my files. But this address bar will always show where you're at or what folder your file is located in. So like I mentioned earlier, the File Explorer works like a giant filing cabinet. It's got the main drawers that we talked about: Recent, My Files, Downloads, and Google Drive. Within those drawers, we have folders, and within those folders, we're going to have different files. It's super important to start by setting up a file organizational system. And our file organization system is going to start with a main computer apps folder. So you can create a folder one of 2 ways. You can right click in your My Files and you can choose this new folder, or the shortcut key Control-E, or you can go up to the three little dots and you can choose new folder from here. But in My Files, we want to start by creating the Computer Apps folder. Now within the Computer Apps folder, we're going to have multiple different unit folders. And within those unit folders, we're going to have different files that we may be using for our different units and projects we're creating. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to double click into Computer Apps. I'm going to right click and I'm going to create my very first Unit 1 folder. And then if I double click into Unit 1, I can see that I've done this correctly. Up here in the address bar, I've got Unit 1. It's within Computer Apps. That's within My Files. You can also use the little arrows on the left over here in the navigation pane to see where your files and your folders are located. Now, it's super important that you understand that anything on your Chromebook under the My Files is exactly there on your Chromebook. So it's only accessible on that specific device. You might want to be able to access your files on a different computer other than your Chromebook. So in that case, we're going to practice using our Microsoft OneDrive account. We'll also be using our Microsoft OneDrive account because we'll be learning the Microsoft programs of Word and PowerPoint and Excel. To get to your OneDrive, it should be bookmarked and pinned right down here. But if it's not, you can open your launcher and you can type in OneDrive. It's going to open OneDrive up online and you're going to need to log in. So you can click sign in the upper right hand corner. And then you're going to type in your OneDrive email. This is very different from your Gmail in the sense that it is not at student.triton.k12.mn.us. Instead, it is your first and last name at tritonk12.onmicrosoft.com. Then you're going to go ahead and click next. You should have been given a default password when you picked up your Chromebook. Go ahead and type that in. It's probably going to make you reset your password upon first login. If you can't remember your password or that default isn't working, ask Goose to reset it for you. Once you get logged in, you're going to see it's very similar to the File Explorer on your Chromebook in that you've got the different file drawers on the left, and within those file drawers you've got folders, and within the folders there will be different files. We want to set this up to mirror our File Explorer on our Chromebook, just how we had Computer Apps Unit 1. And so we're going to do the same thing on our OneDrive. We're going to click the New button. We're going to create a new folder. We're going to call it Computer Apps. Then we're going to go into our Computer Apps folder. And within there, we're going to create another new folder and call it Unit 1. Again, our OneDrive has an address bar just like our File Explorer did. It's up here, so we see Files. I'm in Computer Apps. If I click on Unit 1, I'm going to see the full thing there. And I can click these to get back to the start. We're going to talk about what the different types of files are, and we're going to actually practice saving our files. Some files you're going to save to your Chromebook, and some files you're going to be required to save to your OneDrive. So we'll take a look at that. The first type of file we're going to use is an image file, and there are a couple different image file types that you will see if you take this class or another class with me. And those are the JPEG, the GIF or the GIF, and the PNG. So the JPEG, the GIF, and the PNG are all image files that can be used on any computer. The big difference between the three is that the GIF file can be an animated picture and the PNG file allows for transparency. But otherwise, all three image file types are viewable and editable on any computer. So now we're going to practice downloading and saving a couple image files to the correct spot. If you head over to the folder and file maintenance assignment on Schoology and scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that I've given you some practice files to use. The first one that we're going to practice downloading is this picture of Slothy. Now, anytime a picture is given to you in Schoology in this format, you need to download it by clicking that picture so it shows up bigger, and then you're going to click the link that says download image. Now once you download it, you're going to see it pops up over here in the download manager. The big thing we want to do here is click show in folder. That's going to bring up our File Explorer, and we're going to see that anytime you download something from the internet, it automatically puts it in the My Files Downloads folder. We don't want it in the Downloads folder because things just get messy.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
We do want it in Computer Apps, and we do want it in the correct unit folder. So you can see I expanded using the arrows, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag Slothy until Unit 1 turns blue, or I can even drag it in here until it opens, and then I can let go. So now I see Slothy, he's in Unit 1, he's in Computer Apps, which is under My Files. And again, you can view it bigger or smaller, whatever you prefer is fine. So now you're actually going to go out and you're going to practice this on your own, except you're going to practice finding a picture on Google that you think is going to make me laugh and downloading that and saving it to your Computer Apps Unit 1 folder. So for example, I'm using Google, I'm looking for a picture. This is the one that I want. When I click it, it opens up here. I want you to know that this is the thumbnail size or the smaller size of the image. So sometimes when you just download that, it actually gives you kind of a low res crappy thing. To make sure you have the proper full size, if you right click on this and go to open image in new tab, it will find you the full size image. At this point, you can right click and you want the save image as. This brings up your File Explorer and you're able to directly pick where you want to save it. We don't like that downloads folder, but we do want to directly pick that it goes into Computer Apps and that this picture goes into Unit 1. I can change the name of my picture at this time by clicking down there. And if I just click save and I accidentally forget to, remember you can choose that show in folder and it should open everything up. So I see that I've got this super long file. It's in Unit 1, it's in Computer Apps, but it's got a weird name. If I right click on it, I can choose rename, Goose Laughs, and then I'm good. Finally, there's a great chance you'll be using one of the Microsoft Office file types, and we have a Word, Excel, and PowerPoint file type that you'll be seeing. We're going to practice using a Word file type today so you can see how you should save those. Practice, I've given you this test file. It's a Word document. Downloads the same as the Slothy, so you just click it. It pops up in our file manager down here, and then we click show in folder. And again, it went into downloads. We don't like that. I'm going to drag it into Computer Apps. Then I'm going to drag it into Unit 1. And I see that I've got test file in my Unit 1 with my Goose Laughs and my Slothy. Now, anytime we have a Microsoft Word file, we also need that to go into our OneDrive. So if I go back to my OneDrive, I'm going to go into Computer Apps. I'm going to open up my Unit 1 folder. And then I'm going to drag that file there. So if I have my File Explorer open, I can click Test File, and I can click and drag, and it should upload. It'll show you that it's uploading up there, and then it'll pop up here. If you're having a hard time dragging from your screen to screen, you can just choose the Upload button, pick Files, and then you can go to your Computer Apps folder, Unit 1, and select your file that you want to upload and choose Open. In this case, I've already uploaded it, so it's asking me if I want to replace it. So OneDrive is going to house any of those Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, but we'll also want to be able to see that on our Chromebook under the Computer Apps Unit 1. If I take a look at this in OneDrive, when I click it, I'm now going to be able to open this up and I'm going to be able to edit it in Word. And I can do that on any computer with Word, not just my Chromebook. I would not be able, if it's only hanging out in here, I would not be able to edit that on any computer with Word. I would just be able to do it on my Chromebook. And now we've finished learning all about the File Explorer, the different file types, how to set up your folders and subfolders, and practice saving a bunch of different file types to the correct places with the correct names. At this point, I'm looking for you to screenshot the icons view of your Files Computer Apps Unit 1 folder, and I would like you to save this screenshot as file.org. And then I'm looking for you to screenshot your OneDrive Computer Apps Unit 1 folder and save this screenshot as file org2. So let's just review how to take a screenshot. So if I'm going into the files folder, I want it again in icons or thumbnail view. And then a screenshot, it is just Control-Shift-Windows key. And that brings up this four-way cross, and wherever you click and drag, it's going to show me that. So for your screenshot, I want to be able to see your address bar so I can see all of your correct folders, and then I want to be able to see the 3 file thumbnails. So there's my screenshot. I need to make sure that I show my screenshot in the folder, because guess what? It put my screenshot into downloads, and I actually want it in my computer apps folder, and then I want that in Unit 1. And then instead of it being called screenshot, I need to rename it to file org. So this is one of the screenshots I'm going to submit to Schoology. The second screenshot I'm going to submit to Schoology is my Unit 1 view of my OneDrive. And again, it's Control-Shift-Windows key. And all I need to be able to see is the address bar and that you have your test file uploaded. Once I see it down here, I need to show that in the folder. I'm going to rename it file org2, and I don't want it in downloads. I'm going to drag it right away into my Unit 1. And at this point, I'm ready to submit file org and file org2 to Schoology. To submit any files to Schoology, always make sure you're on the correct assignment and then choose the Submit Assignment button on the right side of the screen. This will bring up an option for you to choose how to submit your assignment. Anytime you have a file to upload, make sure you use the Upload tab. Do note that you also have a Create tab where you could write your own submission, including inserting links or other content, or you could use the Resources tab and the Apps version to access your OneDrive or even your Google Drive. For us, we're always going to stick with the Upload tab, and then we have a couple different settings. First, we want to choose this File button and go out and find the file we want to submit. We want to submit from our Computer Apps Unit 1, and we want to submit our file org screenshot. So we'll select that and choose Open. As long as it shows our file here, we can add any additional comments we like. Simply choose Submit. I can double check that I've submitted the correct assignment on the right as long as it says Assignment Submitted. I can even click the assignment submitted and make sure that I've submitted the correct file. If this is good, then you are done.
Get ready! Your exit's coming up, man!
Where? I don't see it!
Right there! I see it! I see it!
You mean the swirling vortex of terror?
That's it, dude!
Of course it is!
Okay, first, find your exit buddy. Do you have your exit buddy?
Yes!
Okay, Squirt here will now give you a rundown on proper exiting technique.
Good afternoon! We're gonna have a great jump today! Okay, break hard, cut back as you hit the wall! There's a screaming bottom turn, so watch out! Remember, rip it, roll it, and touch it!
It's like he's trying to speak to me, I know it! You know, you're really cute, but I don't know what you're saying! Say the first thing again!
Okay, Jellyman, go, 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 go!